do know that there are those that are not, comfortable with this. They believe that it was not a legitimate thing to actually, have King MaZulu ascend to the throne. And we'll get a sense really into why exactly that is. We are joined by umntwana Prince uThokozane uthe mkhulu wena uzobathula abanye abatwana, but asiqale lapho mkhulu in terms of who are you standing next to right now?
Ntiya kwanenkosi. On my right it's Prince Mxolisi, the brother to the late king. He belongs to the quintessential component of the royal family without whom nothing should move. At my far right hand side it's Prince Mazwi, the senior prince of Kwaminyamazi Royal House. He's the great grandson of Prince Ndabugo, that great Zulu warrior.
May we please just then get a sense really of some of the internal battles we are seeing playing out even in the courts. I know that this started at that time when there was that controversial will reading, and then everything from there was just bringing us to where we are. But just explain to us in terms of that moment. We remember it quite clearly when the Prime Minister Obaba Prince Mangosuthu was saying you must sit down at a point where you wanted to raise a point. Perhaps if you can just give us a sense of saying what did you want to say on that day, what were the issues that you wanted to address?
Mtia, I wanted to raise points to the effect that that particular meeting was irregular in terms of the customary law, in terms of customs, and in terms of our legislation. Irregular in terms of the customary law, in the sense that it sought to suggest that the identification or ascendance of Prince MaZulu derived from a will that had been signed by the late Queen. May her soul rest in peace. Now, it contravenes customary law in the sense that the Zulu royal family transition is in terms of male primogeniture, which states that whenever a king dies, it's only one of his sons that would then ascend the throne. But also irregular in terms of the custom, in the sense that when Prince MaZulu purportedly ascended the throne, there had not been any cleansing. Sasingageziwe isihlalo. Okwesibili zayingageziwe igodlo. Okwesithathu omkankosi omkamuhle babungahlanjululiwe. Izingane zakwabo azalwa nazo ingonyama zayingahlanjululiwe. Ngisho nehlambo lalingenziwe. Ngaleyo ndlela ke konke lokho kuyaphambana nesiko ngekundlela ethi kakukho ukukhanya okungavela buvela entweni enomnyama neomnyama, ikakhulukazi ngoba indlunkulu iyo eyisiqongo esigabeni sokuvikelwa nokugcina kwesiko.
Mntwana ngifuna ukubuza just to carry on with this conversation in asking this, what is it that you want to be done? What is it that you are trying to fix? What is it ultimately that would be an ideal situation that you are contesting this throne for?
An ideal situation would be that things have to be done in terms of the customary law, in terms of custom and legislation. For starters, at that meeting of the 7th of May last year, there were, in fact, in that particular on that particular night, I called it a public meeting because it wasn't the meeting of the Zulu royal family, but also the meeting of the 14th of May that purportedly identified Prince MaZulu was delegitimized by the absence of the house of King Cyprian and the senior princes from the houses. So that meeting did not in fact amount to the meeting of the royal family, in the sense that there were other people. There were those representing the clergy, there were izinduna, headmen and things like that. But most importantly, that meeting could have been a proper meeting ukube ukhalo lukabhusha kakhulukazi bona to deal with a particular aspect that is the requirement of the law in terms of the conduct of that particular person who is said to be identified. Now, if you don't have that component, it becomes a problem, in the sense that the law provides that for the section providing for the withdrawal of a recognition of a king clearly stipulates that that particular person who has been identified for ascendance should not have contravened any custom or customary law. Inkinga ke esinayo ke kakhulu njoba sikhala lo mhlangano lowo wawungabizekile kahle ile eyokuthi kakho ongazi lapha eNdlunkulu ukuthi umntwana uMisuzulu unengane ezalwa umfwabo wengonyama. Lokho kulichilo ngokwezulu ukuhlobonga ngendlela yokuthi nxa kwenzekile labo ababesuke benze lokho babekhishwa bebizwe isibongo sakhe. Ngagcini ngapha umkhonto uciche ngapha nangapha nasekhakhonina umntwana eSwazini unengane ezalwa udadewabo weNdlovukazi. Lokho ke ngisho nokomthetho waseNingizimu Afrika incest iyicala nangokwesiko futhi ukuhlobonga akumekelekile. Njoba sithi ke iNdlunkulu isiqongo sokuvikela nokugcina kwesiko sisho ngoba eNdlunkulu eqhulwini kusuke kuyingonyama. Lesi sikhathi samanje ke uzoba nengonyama kanjani engeke izokwazi ukuthi inikeze iziyalo esizweni naseyinganeni eyilandelayo, kakhulukazi esigabeni senhlonipho okuyiyo inhlonipho uZulu aziwa ngayo ngokuthi wayengayihloniphi umntwana ingonyama. Kakho ungakwazi eNdlunkulu uthi ngo2010 wathi cha awungaphela u2010 ingonyama ingamnikezela isihlalo sayo. Ngo2016 kwasho yena futhi wathi cha kanti ufaneni lo ngithathe into yami. Manje ke uyayibuza ke ukuthi zonke izinto kuningi there are a number of factors that disqualify Prince Mthuzulu in terms of his conduct, but those are matters for another day.
Yes, bengisafuna ukusho ukuthi our time has unfortunately lapsed. They are telling us to wrap. Kodwa ngeke ngishiye ngingakanikezi abantwana ithuba. Mangiqale nje ngiye kubo baba bese ngiyezwa ukuthi enabona bafuna ukuphawula bathini ngalokho nje ngokusheshsha nje.
Ngeke ezwakala into ebewumntwana iqiniso. Noma okuningi ngeke sikukhiphe manje okuningi, kodwa ke zonke lezi zinto umntwana seyibekile zisahamba eqinisweni lonke.
Siyabonga. Okay, cool. Nawo mhlawumbe ungathi ukuthi
kunjalo njengoba sebekile abendlovu. Sinaleyo nkinga siyindlunkulu ukuthi yonke into esetshenzisiweyo ngesihlalo asenelisekile nakubo sopolitiki ngoba nge-19 zika May kwaba ne-VN lapho umntwana uMisuzulu wayekhuluma nendodana kaRamaphosa ayicela ukuthi ayikhulume noyise kwazi ukuthi eqoke yona ukuthi abe inkosi. Sikubonile futhi sibona umhlonishwa umongameli evakashele kwaNgwane odibana nomswazi. Thina ko esiyuhlangothi othile sayibuza ukuthi why bese yakwaNgwane. Akuphelanga lapho. Simbonile ehlangana nohlangothi othile kodwa eseyikhiphile ithimba lepanel elalihola ubaba umhlonishwa uMacingwane ukuthi maluzolungisa luzoza ukuthi iNdlunkulu ithini. Yashoka iNdlunkulu yamnikeza igama likamntwana uSimakade ukuthi uyena ofanele ehlale esihlalweni sobukhosi bukaZulu. Sididekile ke mase sibona umongameli engasibizi sindlunkulu, sabona sesibuka nje kwimedia nasemaphepheni ukuthi yena usekhethe kanje. Singawutholile futhi nombiko epanel ukuthi uthini wona, ngoba namanje sindlunkulu silindele lo mbiko epanel. Njengoba noNdunankulu umhlonishwa uZikalala simbonile masicela isecurity yomntwana uSimakade, azange enze ubulungiswa ngoba zange emnike isecurity ukubhekela impilo yakhe ukuthi njengendlunkulu simbona engaphephile umntwana njengoba enzile kumntwana uMisuzulu wamnika isecurity. Sindlunkulu kasenelisekile ngokuhulumeni ngendlela aliphathe ngayo lo lesisimo esibhekene nendlunkulu. Ilokho nje sindlunkulu esithi namanje thina siyasho sithi ofanele ehlale esihlalweni ngokulandela. Sahlala singamakhanda onke izindlu, sahlala nomkankosi okuyibona bebesondelene kakhulu nembube ibibatshena yonke into okuyibona ka basitshele ukuthi cha nangoba ofanele ehlale. Savumelana ke singamakhanda onke izindlu kaMpande, sakhipha ke igama lomntwana uSimakade sathumela ke kuyipanel ukuthi yona ofanele ehlale esihlalweni.
Ngiyabonga kakhulu batwana ngokuthi nikhulume nathi nisinike nethuba lokuthi sikhulume. Well, those are some of the sentiments that we are getting here, just getting a sense really of some of the reasons behind contestations, but they are talking about the fact that in the customary law, at the first place, this was not supposed to happen. But more than that, there are allegations that are coming out in terms of the conduct of the current king, Ubabu Misuzulu. So those are some of the things they are challenging. We do know that this matter is within the courts, but as much as the president has in fact acknowledged King Misuzulu as the king, there are still those battles that are going on, and we understand it's also within the courts. But you are getting a sense, a first-hand account in terms of why is it that the kingship of King Misuzulu is being challenged at this stage.
Thank you very much, reporter Lindokuhle Xulu.